I'm back.
Alright guys, welcome back. I'm AJS0, joined here by 30 for Game 2 of the night between, we've got the team drafted by Think Twice, Fizz on your Jace on the left, and the team drafted by A Million Babies, Joey's top lane, Emporium on the right. And we're straight into bans here, so, what's up guys? Get ready for a fuck fest, because I see the boy Mad Cow 457 who doesn't play a single meta top laner and takes Ignite into all of his games until a week ago when he got drafted, getting 3 target bans to start his season off.
Kled?
That's a top laner, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 Mad Cow bans, dude. He's rocking
the fuck?
He went off on a top lane scrim last night as Mordekaiser, and it's one of his more played champions.
With teleport or Ignite?
He plays teleport for this team.
Okay, well, that's impressive, honestly. I could see Mordekaiser Ignite being actually really, really good at winning the lane. But with teleport, you lose some of your kill pressure. But how nice of him to bring teleport. Anyway, let's stop talking about that guy. Maybe that guy's gonna be back.
Well, that guy's a pretty big factor. I mean, Master Splinter only drew 2 bans, with the Hecarim and the Nocturne coming through. And the last ban, going to round things out, Evelite's supposedly legendary Vigar.
So it is pretty much confirmed Evelite's going to be the mid player?
I will be surprised if that's not the case. But let's talk about something I think is way more exciting. Fizz on your Jace is going to actually have Sword and Mace as a starting player.
I mean, I played with the guy last season for one official match where he subbed in, and I think that game spoke volumes about his level of performance in this league.
Do you think that maybe he's their bench player and they're just going to bust him out because he's playing against Thor right now?
Maybe. I mean, it's week 1. Maybe one of their players is out, couldn't play. So this actually is a very official sub situation, not a starter. But I don't know. So Lucian first pick. That's already pretty interesting in this meta. Lucian, not really a tier 1 AD anymore. Only tier 1 if you're like really, really good with them. But there's a lot of ADs that are a lot higher priority than Lucian right now. But
yeah, but you're thinking about the League of Legends professional meta. You need to rein it back a little bit and think about the Master Splinter meta. And Lucian is like, if Sivir is 1A, Lucian is 1B for Master Splinter meta.
I can see that. He really likes Master Splinter or Lucian.
I mean, if you're going ham, going crazy, and fighting for kills all the time, Lucian's going to be there to follow up. If you're completely ignoring the Lucian, he's going to just be able to zip-zop around the back of the fight. Master Splinter doesn't have to think about what the Lucian's doing. The Lucian's going to just be able to react to what Master Splinter's doing.
Yep. So, on the first rotation on the red side, you got Trundle for Scotchnaut and Talia for Thor in the mid lane. So they have red side, but they picked their mid really early. But do you think Talia was contested on the other team?
I have not been paying too close attention to what people have been practicing. I know Evelite's champion pool is gigantic, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that I heard rumors that Thor was playing a lot of Talia. I think he's getting really good at it, so he can break it on his skill, and he does very confident picks it blind into his mid lane matchup. Swain was picked on the blue side on Fizz on your Jace, so it could be a mid lane Swain. Also could be flexed into that top lane. But,
I have to assume that's going to be the top lane just because mid and top are picking together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this is going to be a big test for Sword and Mace if he is playing that Swain top into Mad Cow's Gnar. Gnar is a pain in the ass to lane against, man.
Yeah, he is.
And Mad Cow is a Platinum 2, maybe Platinum 1, I'm not 100% sure. Very high elo player, one of the highest in the league, who is entirely known for dominating laning phase and dumping on anyone he's up against. And Sword Mace was on a bench last season.
Yeah, Gnar's a very good champion to do that in the lane phase. I mean, if he gets ahead, even if he gets the ball rolling, it keeps rolling bigger because he gets Frozen Mallet, and then he becomes the most annoying top laner in the game, by far. But is that both team comps are rounded out here? Albino Joe going to his trustworthy Caitlyn, and Evelite picking up the Syndra, which I like. I really like Syndra as a champion, right? Especially right now, against all the other meta mid laners. It's definitely a champion he can flex his mechanics on, get the ball rolling. He is going up against the Talia, so I'm not too sure on what that lane entails. I assume it's just a lot of farming. Thor is going to stay really safe on Talia. Just farm it out, use his abilities, and once he hits that 6, I assume he'll be looking for a nice roam into that bottom lane or top.
Yeah, I am really, really excited to watch this mid lane matchup. To me, this is, like, without a doubt, the featured matchup of this game, because we get to see our first of many SS-boosted Friendship Grudge matches. And, I don't know if you've talked to many of those guys in the offseason. Every single player on that team thinks that everybody else on that team and everybody they've ever been friends with is absolute garbage but them.
Well, I do have one of those players, and I think that sentiment is kind of true. Yeah, a lot of disrespect. It's like they played with each other, and then they figured them out totally, and they have nothing to fear now. They know each other inside and out, which I don't think is entirely the case here, because you got a lot of role switches, right? You got Evelite from AD to mid. Wait, that might be it actually on that team.
Yeah, the rest are rookies. Gabe O'Neal's a rookie.
Yeah.
Sword and Mace hasn't been a starter in 3 years. But we do have a few role switches on Joey's top lane Emporium. Scotchnaut switching from top lane to support for the Scotchnaut Albino Joe tilt lane.
Okay, I gotta talk about this. So obviously in the draft, I was really curious about this team, and everyone was memeing about how this is like all the top players on one team. And that's honestly I think that poses a real threat. I've never met anyone who, when you ask them, hey, what are the 2 roles you play? Top and support, or like support and top. I've never ever heard that. I don't think there's a lot of skills and a lot of game sense qualities that transfer between those 2 roles.
Hard engage. You can play hard engage in both those roles.
Yeah, you can. And see, that I guess there are a lot of tanky top laners that already have been played support. Think about it. I mean, we've had Nautilus. He had his reign as a tier 1 top laner. He's been a good support for a very long time. Same with Trundle. Trundle's almost exclusively played support nowadays. Yeah, there's a lot of good champion picks, but I'm not concerned about the mechanics and whether he can like hard engage with ability. I'm more concerned about his warding game, his ability to roam, his ability to even just play the 2v2 lane, because it's quite a different dynamic than a 1v1. There's a lot more summoners to keep track of. You gotta rush for that level 2. I mean, that happens up there too, but
I mean, by that logic, I think the only role change anyone could ever pull off would be mid to top, and I think that the professional scene has given us enough examples of drastic role swaps to know that it's at least possible. I'm a lot less worried about it than you are.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not gonna lose the game for his team, but it's something I take note because I don't think he's to the caliber of other support players in the league.
I think he could lose the game for his team, but it's going to be because him and Albino Joe are a flaming clown car of shit, dude. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm acknowledging it could happen.
I agree with that. I think any of these players could actually lose the game for the team, except for Mad Cow.
Oh, yeah. I can see this team tilting so hard. It's going to be a social experiment live in the making.
A lot of teams this year are social experiments live in the making.
Alright, so one more thing on Joey's top lane Emporium. The only person on this team that's not playing a role that they put as their main or tied main role is Ghost32 in the jungle. And a year ago, he was an AD carry jungle main, so he's not that far removed from it being one of his primary roles. So I'm not...
My boy Ghost. I just noticed that, yeah.
Did you know he plays top lane?
Yeah.
He signed up as a top AD carry. They actually have 5 top laners on this team.
I know, isn't that just
At least
ridiculous?
I think they're bench players. Who's their? I don't even know who their bench player is. Their bench might not be a top laner. Let's
Wasn't it
starting.
Sinzap? Sinzap or
Yeah, that guy's a
Synapse?
support player. Alright, so as we load onto the rip one more time, we got Think Twice's Fizz on your Jace on the blue team versus A Million Babies, Joey's top lane, and Emporium on the right. And guys, I just want to apologize. The name matchup gets worse with every consecutive match tonight.
Yeah, yes, it does. Definitely started with the best team names at the start of the night.
It's all downhill from there.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't even know Ghost Jungling this season. That's gonna be cool. So he's going. This is is this his first competitive or like SBL match as a jungler?
Yeah.
Wow, to have your Virgin Jungle experience be against Master Splinter of all people on one of his signature and best champions of Skarner, that's something.
You know what I really appreciate about this game? These team comps are not team comps, so we don't have to worry about theory crafting any of that kind of stuff.
They're not. Wait, what'd you say? They're not team comps?
They're not team comps, dude. Look at this. Look
Yeah,
at this
I know.
shit.
I know. I was actually in that pause there. I was thinking about, let me talk about team comps. Wait, never mind.
They're just gonna be like, oh, see hero, yeah, kill hero.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this. This right here, bad team names, no team compositions. We're gonna have kills at like level 3, dude. This is what the SBL is about, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, and I really hate it, but you could basically say any team composition nowadays is a pick comp. Everyone throws around that term so liberally, and it's true though. I mean, both these teams actually do have good catch. I have to say though, the Fizz on your Jace on the blue side, they have a few more ways to do that, and I think that's what they're gonna be tunneling in on. I can see Master Splinter ganking a lot for mid lane on Evolite, trying to get that Centripig and trying to shut down the Talia realm, really.
Yeah, I would think that would be a really smart thing for Master Splinter to be doing in this game. I would like to see some of that out of him. Do want to note that the Emporium bot lane, is that going to be the most efficient way to say this?
Yeah.
Did take Krog at level 1. They're going to have a slight EXP lead in the bot lane.
And there's that Gnar. He didn't get that last hit though. He just proc that frenzy passive, but
pretty bad auto cancel there that actually is going to make that trade pretty even in the top lane.
Yeah.
And Master Splinter smells blood in the water, although Ghost is on his tail right now.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think they did too, I mean, just Caitlyn and Trundle in general, and they did, like you said, they took the Gromp level 1, so they got the early level 2, there's really nothing you can do with those two. I mean, you could just basically beat them down with like pillars and auto attacks, but you're not gonna get any kills. You're not really gonna pull any summoners against that lane either. Lucian probably pretty safe.
No, but they should be able to accrue a decent CS advantage if they play well. There's so much zone control in that lane. And I actually disagree.
Yeah, totally.
I think there's a lot of opportunities to blow summoners, because once they get a little bit of poke off between the Caitlyn traps and the Thermal Pillar. But in the mid lane, Evolite gets pulled in the door. He is running towards the safety of the tower, but he gives up a first blood to an Ignite kick. Meanwhile, in his bot lane, Gabe O'Neal has to blow fields offensively.
Well, that was unexpected. Well, Thor did bring Ignite. I guess I didn't touch on that. I don't know if Leah's bring Ignite. I don't know a lot about that champion yet and what she can really do in that early game, but she landed the whole combo and it just really took him by surprise. Evolite could have flashed out of the rock knockback, but he didn't, and cost him his life there.
Yeah, Evolite's got S+ rankings on 16 champions. Oh, but Gabe O'Neal gets pillared into a Albino Joe for the second the kill defense, but now Albino Joe taking a lot of damage. He knows he's gonna die, so he just turns on the Fail Destiny, and he gets the double kill on the Fail Destiny! Now he's fighting away from S8, who has to flash offensively into the creep wave. Gonna take a lot of damage, but he's gonna make it out of this one, but still a 2-for-1 in favor of Emporia here. And Scotchnaut is done.
Wow, really good heads-up play from the bot lane there. And then Joe, yeah, just recognizing the best thing you could do right now is, okay, I'm probably going down from super low. I'm just gonna stand still and auto-attack. And he pulled it off, and he actually almost got away there. It was a nice net flash steal to get out of that.
Really impressed with Albino Joe on that play. There are a lot of players in this league who would have gotten the first kill and died to Master Splinter there trying to run.
Yep.
And it pays off for him because he's now going to be BF Sword Caitlyn that was already dominating the lane up against Double Dorn's Boots, Gabe O'Neill.
Oh, that is so brutal. And Scotchnaut was able to get the Sight Stone, so now he can just ward up river and try, and they can just push and zone. They can do whatever they want down there.
Yeah, and it's not like Master Splinter's playing, you know, a Zac or something that's going to be hard to keep track of. Skyner has to walk through wards. And this lane wants to be pushing. This is a perfect start for Emporium. This is exactly where a Caitlyn for the lane wants to be.
Yep, they just gotta ride this through in that mid game and then get to that like beauty 3 to 4 item Caitlyn in that late game. And I mean, Caitlyn in the very late game is gonna have so much peel. It's gonna be very hard to get to that backline. There's no good divers. I mean, Skarner really loses his effectiveness without flash in the late game team fights.
Ooh, is it flash forced down to Sword and Mace?
Yeah. But Sword that's great by Sword Mace to actually flash that, because that, well, I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure he had to flash that. He had just popped his W, so he was probably going to take a lot of damage, but...
Oh, if he didn't know where jungler was, I think that's why he did it. That was a respect flash.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. A Ghost we haven't seen him in a lane yet for a gank, but I don't know if there's really been a scenario where he's been able to gank yet. It would have been bot lane, but he was mostly on the top side, just sort of counter jungling and just getting river control up there for his mid and top. Oh, good. But that was a very good trade for the Lucian Prom lane.
Yeah, Scotchnaut not playing that one well at all. Going for a big trade while Albino Joe was just last hitting. And I'm really confused why Albino Joe and Scotchnaut are not pushing this lane. They're going to be at their most effective once they have the Fizz bot lane under their own tower, and then they can easily siege. They can slowly work on that tower, go for first brick.
I think what they were doing there is Talia, Thorky to come down to the river near Dragon. I think gives the wall off, but they decided to not go in on that. So now would be now you're right. Now would be the time to push in on it. But Master Splinter, being a sneaky Scorpion, is gonna try the in lane here. He has level 6, no flash though. Sword and Mace getting bullied out of top lane.
This is starting to go bad in top lane. That's an 18 CS deficit currently, and probably going to be bigger before long. I mean, Sword and Mace running low on resources while Metcow sitting at fairly high health.
Oh, oh man, Emporium bot lane, they're just gonna juice this one out. And Splinter finally realizes the stick is up and hightails it out of there, but we got Ghost here looking for his first gank of the game. He does have Elastic Slingshot, only level 2. Wait, he ranked up W a second time. If he had rank 3, I think he could do that gank if they would have pushed in on it, but... So yeah, just a 1.8k gold lead so far. Tempo has slowed down considerably since those first two fights in mid and bot.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see that. No one's really know how to push the Gen. Albino's just actually a lot of danger. He gets almost done. He has to flop both of his summoners eventually. Now Master Splinter coming out of the river. Ghost here on a flank, and so is the Talia. I think Emporium wants to change this. And Ghost is going, and he gets to knock him on a Bill Bestie. And now here comes Thor, putting that Splinter for the He has to flash.
Wow, Splinter just got that flash up. That was almost a kill. Like that was guaranteed kill on Splinter there, but he did have that flash, and Almost a good turnaround there from Emporium. But Albino Joe in the first place, getting that Braum stack onto him and almost getting killed there.
Yeah, these are just really badly executed trades out of the Emporium bot lane, which is really not good when you get a 2-0 lead on your opposing AD carry in the earliest play there.
Yeah, he's actually down in CS right now.
Real quick while we have a chance, I want to talk about Talia, something a lot of people might not know, that Mesh Splinter Flash was really good earlier. Most walls in the game, you only have to flash to past halfway through the wall, and you will go over the wall. But Talia wall works differently, and you actually have to clear the entire wall with your flash, or else you won't go over it at all. So it's actually substantially harder to flash a Talia wall than it is a normal wall, and Mesh Splinter showing us those hashtag diamond mechanics.
It's just like in the top line there where Nar is that big chunk of land there. That's definitely one of the hardest flashes in the game, and it's just like that, you're right. You have to clear it completely.
Another thing I want to note that I just realized, Applelight has been picking up a pretty big CS advantage. I'm guessing he got a lot of this off of that roam out of Thor, but he is currently only 100 gold down on Thor.
Yeah, he's actually up in items too. And he has boots on top of that, so...
Yeah, they're both sitting on a weird amount of gold. I wasn't paying very close attention to the back timings there. I'm surprised Thor is in a position where he's sitting at 2,300 gold. Is this what the SBL is like in 2016? Do people just not back anymore?
I guess.
I watched the bot lane in the last game get to like 3,000 gold apiece, dude. And Sword and Mace is in a lot of games. Jeez, Mad Cow is only got a phage and a double thorns, and he is already hitting the Nar zone.
Yeah, it's really just phage passive. I mean, Frozen Mallet is like cherry on top, but just the phage alone makes him a monster to try to trade with. And Sword and Mace he's kind of just relegated to using Never Move and the Crow there that just try to wait for him in the CS.
Now Mad Cow going in and Sword and Mace with a nice flash of the Nar wall.
That was perfectly timed too. That was very nice. I'm very impressed by his flashes this game. And I think it's probably a plus if you're just thinking as a team member on your Jace. You probably need to look at the top lane matchup. You're like, okay, Sword and Mace, I think you just need to survive this one. You know, don't let Mad Cow get rolling. Let him try to work out those mid-game Nar ult timings and just get you to a decent spot on the swing.
Can I go on a bit of a rant real quick?
Go for it.
While there's a bit of a lonely action. People always say all the time, like, oh, if we have, a bad matchup on our team, we just, whatever you do, you can lose 30 CS, just don't feed. Look at gold right now. Sword and Mace is down 600 gold. 700 gold on Mad Cow. That's over 2 kills worth of gold. And people always act like that's not the case. Like, that's a huge amount of gold. Mad Cow is already going off, even if he doesn't have the kills to prove it. Who's going to stop Mad Cow once he starts split flipping?
Honestly, on this team, no one. I mean, it'd have to be just like a duo lane, the bot lane going up against the split pushing arm. But if you do that, you've already lost map control on the other side. So you're losing dragons, you're losing towers for it. The thing is, though, yeah, you're right. The gold is significant. This huge CS lead is worth more than 2 kills. But if he were to get if he gets 1v1 under his tower, he dies, and then he can get the tower damage, which can turn into a lot more.
I mean, obviously, it's better to be down 30 CS than to be down 30 CS and 2 kills as well. But
yeah.
But now, fight going on in the bottom lane. Scotch not both of his AD carries are just engaging onto the enemy's supports right now. And Phil Destiny is really showing up, but Scotch not goes down to Gable Neal, who's now flashing forward onto Albino Joe. Albino Joe with awful summoner usage and a double kill to the Lucian.
Whew! That was fun. Gabe O'Neill. Look at this guy. That was a very good fight out of the Fizz on your Jace bot lane. I think this is already turned around, right? Like, just looking at gold. Yeah, Lucian's now ahead on the gold here. Joe just finished Hurricane, still has that BF. Once he gets the BF item, though, he'll be cooking with gas. But man, Gabe O'Neill, what a good play out of him.
Yeah, guys showing up for a $1.25 player. You gotta be pretty happy. Yeah. No real 3-man experience as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And now Fizz on your Jace setting up a nice dragon here. There is no possibility of him pulling and contesting this one. Gonna be an Earth Dragon going over the FOYJ.
Oh, Sword Mace. Sword Mace is in a really bad spot.
Goes with a nice knock-up, and look at that, just chunk out. Mad Cow finally on the board.
I mean, honestly, he shouldn't be there against the Gnar matchup alone, but he didn't have vision of River or Chai. So, I mean, you're just asking to get killed there. That was...
Yeah, that to me, that was like a big play out of someone that doesn't have a lot of 3-man experience. Your team is taking Dragon, and you have no vision of anything. You just need to be super backed off during that. And Sword Mace doesn't have a whole lot of 3-man experience, so I'm not surprised that he didn't recognize that was going on, and it ends up costing him. And that's going to be big, because despite how badly Albino Joe and Scotchgod are playing, I still don't actually know what can happen in this game for Mad Cow not to just single-handedly carry it.
And that Rift Herald, I think that's that's gonna be it, man. I am now fully aware what this guy is capable of. That is gonna be so brutal on the Gnar. He has black. Oh my god, he actually didn't go Frozen Mountain with black Keeper. What a baller. Oh, Albino Joe, he's caught out here.
There's a flash, Braum ult, and now Master Splitter says, "Feel my sting, little boy." And failed Destiny gets bloodthirsty.
Man, once again, pushing up with no vision. I mean, sure they had Tri-warded, but did they even have their other entrance on the river warded at that time? Did they know where the jungler was? that is a sloppy play, man.
And Sword Mace gets actually the luckiest Mega Gnar transform there that probably saves his life.
And first brick going down at nearly 17 minutes, going over to Fizz on your Jace, further extending the small lead that they have. It's almost a 1,000 gold lead here.
Oh, Sword Mace gets too greedy trying to defend that tower. Now Mad Cow flashes in aggressively, gets his second kill of the game. But he's gonna watch out because here comes Evelyn.
Oh, no!
He whips! He's S plus on 16 champions, and he couldn't hit the easiest stun in the world.
Oh no, Evelyn, I mean, he knew. He flashed his champion mastery there. I just hope that, you know, from a player perspective, you can't let those situations tilt you, but you gotta, if you do lose this game, you gotta think back and be like, man, if I would've just got that kill there, that was so free, so easy.
But bear with me, I got an idea here for something I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a weekly power ranking series, okay?
Nice.
Every week I'm going to put out the remnants of the SS Boosted Friendship power rankings. And I'm gonna rank them how they're doing against each other so we can settle this gigantic grudge match. And Evelyn, you are currently the front runner for 6th.
Oh yeah.
Do you think Cheeseburger would have hit that stun? I do.
Yeah, dude, remember that one Morg game? Yeah, he'd hit that stun.
Alright, so getting the back in here, despite everything, still not even 1,000 gold lead, currently in favor of Emporium.
This game's really swingy. I mean, the gold lead has changed at least 3 times, maybe even 4 times already.
It is 1,500 gold in favor of Mad Cow right now. That's a lot. And I think he's about to kill Sword Mace again.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
Oh my god, that boomerang!
Just super smooth kiting there. You don't normally see that in the SBL, especially out of top laners. Like, we've got a few AD carry players that can move between their autos like that. And Mad Cow going on some Season 3 Wild Turtle shit right here.
Nice. That was a great season for Wild Turtle.
The only one.
Alright, I'm done.
I would know because I'd go on for way too long.
Yeah,
about this.
no,
Let's talk
don't
about
worry.
the SBL. We're flying around in here, man.
Yeah. Okay, so we're approaching the 20-minute mark, and the game has devolved into full A right now. This is an SBL match.
If you are Fizz on your Jace right now, what is your battle plan if you're Master Splinter trying to shot call here?
If I'm Master Splinter, I mean, like I said in the draft, or shortly after, this team is all about finding one person, isolating them, and taking them out. They really can't, I don't think there's much to gain trying to fight these guys 5-5 in the open. They really have to just ward up one side of the jungle, wait for the wave to push in, and dive anyone that's there. Like, force number advantages on the enemy team. Deny vision when they come in for the next dragon.
Oh, that hurts so much. That was kind of off screen there, but Ghost forces a flash out of Master Splinter, and that's their biggest ability to get a pick now out the window for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's huge. It's very, very tough for Skarner to get that ultimate on a key target. I'm sure you can get that ultimate on a frontliner maybe, if they're really caught out, and you could just like bring them back, single them out, and take them out, which actually that might be a good thing to do without the flash now. If one of these tanky guys overextends, like Scotchnaut or Ghost, you can easily take them out.
Fight here. Mad Cow is at the perfect Narbar for a team fight. Just about ready to transform, and Sword Mace is still a little outside this fight. Fail Destiny gets chunked out before this fight, and Mad Cow is just daring.
Oh yeah, there's nothing they can do
walk through his zone.
I mean, this is a lot of zone control too. Just look at the champions on this.
Nice through this wall. I really like that. And Scotchnaut actually completes the wall. Donald Trump comp is a success, and Dragon secured by Emporium. But now the fight going in, Sword Mace goes on a weak flank here, but he's just going to start getting soloed by Mad Cow. Now, Failed Destiny wants to get to his top laner zone. He's trying to push forward here. Emporium does have a few low tanks, and Failed Destiny going to give up on the chase before he gets too split from his team.
Wow, that was, I mean, a really good wall usage there, and Scott's finishing the wall like he said. And it was almost a little too early, because when it went down, there was a pretty good re-engage out of Fizz on your Jace there. They had Sword and Mace on the flank there. If his never move might have landed on 2 or 3 of those targets, I think we could have followed up and at least picked up some kills and salvaged some of the gold back. Well played out of top lane Emporium to pick up that dragon. Good use of the team composition.
And despite all the things we're talking about going well for Emporium, I do think it was big that they got that Earth Dragon, because dragons are now even one apiece, both of them Earths. If FOYJ had managed to get the second Earth Dragon, the lucky Baron win condition would have absolutely been in play for them, because you could just burn through it so fast if you got 2 of those Earths.
Oh yeah. I'm still not even used to, as a jungler, how good Mountain Drakes are. Because there was a practice game we were in, and we had 3 Mountain Drakes, and the enemy team was coming, and I was like, oh, my instincts tell me to leave this, because this is a dangerous situation. But really, the best idea was just to burn it, because you do it so incredibly fast. Even just with 2 Mountain Drakes is very easy to kill.
Yeah, and it's not the tower pushing that makes the pros respect Earth Dragon so much. It's just the ability to do a fast Baron or maybe a fast Elder Dragon.
Yeah. It forces the other team to tighten up their map movements and boards like really, really well. Otherwise, if there's any gap in vision, any gap in someone's bot lane, it's easy Baron, and that could really mean the game in these situations.
Okay, Destiny. Oh, a nice snare out of Sword Mace, but Ghost does not care. He's going forward. Failed Destiny has to pop his ult defensively, and the poke war comes to an end.
Talk about it.
What's there to talk about, man? We got some good old ARAM going on here.
Yeah, okay, it's too late. Analysis of that.
And now we're ready for Scotchnaut feels this thing. He gets killed, but now Ghost is disrupting everything on FOYJ, but no kills. But on the side of this fight, Mad Cow chases Gabriel O'Neal out, does not secure the kill. and we only see one go down.
Okay, so Master Splinter actually, I think that was a smart play out of him to realize how squishy Scotchnaut still is. Scotchnaut actually, okay, I'm gonna talk about that after. Yeah, but that was a really good pickoff by Disney Jason. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
On cooldown, flashes forward onto Mad Cow, but does not pick up the kill.
Oh no, Master Splinter, I was gonna praise you. And then that happened. Flashes in without his ult, just hoping for the stun off Fracture on the E of Skarner, and didn't pick it up, and now he just kind of looks like a chump. But in that last fight, though, the first one, Mad Cow chased out Game Real into both the summers, but didn't pick up the kill. And I think if he would have picked up the kill on Lucian, that would have easily been a mid tower for a top lane for him. Talk about Scotchnaut's item build, though. He always builds Talisman of Ascension. He almost never builds Face of the Mountain, or he never just buys Targon Sprays or the Relic Shield. He never buys Relic Shield. On Champions, he should be buying Relic Shield, Scott!
Wait, did he start with the coin?
No, he didn't. Wait, I didn't know what he started with. I didn't take a look, dude. Did he start with coin?
I don't know, dude. What did he start with?
Oh, I don't know.
Go back and look.
Okay.
I gotta do play-by-play for this ARAM.
He bought.
So
okay, wait, oh my fucking god, yeah. And he sold it.
One more time, you were really quiet there.
He had Relic Shield, and then he sold it at some point.
That's better than setting coin.
Yeah, it is actually. I thought, yeah, if he would have started coin, that would have been definitely incorrect on a melee champ. You can actually get more gold out of the Relic Shield if you're using it on cooldown. So.
I thought that's what you were saying, was that he just literally never even starts with the Relic Shield, and that's why I had a little freak out there.
Nah, I did too, but man, I expected his game sometimes, and I just always come in and I see Talisman on when he's playing melee supports. Like even Taric too, which Talisman Ascension is not a bad item, right? And back in the day, way back in our day, it used to be called different things. It used to be called Shurelia's Reverie. Yeah. And that was a great item, right? That was super good, and you basically just bought it when you want to hit the go button, you want to speed up. And this is before Sivir was even reworked, and before she was even up like a relatively common ADC pick. You needed an active item to get your team to fight, and Shurelia's was the item. But
and then Sivir became meta for 3 years.
Yeah, and then Talisman also got shit on, and it got nerfed. It had 20 cooldown at one point, straight, and then it doesn't anymore. It just has 10 like all the rest of them. I don't know. I'll think about this later in reflection.
Alright, but while we're busy reflecting, Emporium gonna take a Water Dragon there. With all the ARAMing that's going on, that could be pretty useful. And I think we're going to actually see a fight here. Mad Cow's pretty far away from this one. He is sitting on his teleport, but he does not have a Mega now. He just timed out of it. Now, Failed Destiny kind of caught up. He is getting chunked out, and he has to ult just before he dies, and Mad Cow is revived on the flank. He is chunking out everybody he can hit. And just one kill.
Yeah, yeah. Master Splinter and Failed Destiny, they were posturing at the front of the fight looking for a pick, but Albino Joe was on the side of the wall there and got in 2-3 autos for free, chunked them out, and Scotchnaut with the ability to start it off, seized the opportunity, and they pick off the support of Fizzon and Jace. They have the trap set up. I think they're going to get this mid tower here next wave. Mad Cow is approaching the Mekanar zone as well, so that offers threat of a dive here.
You know, 30, joke's on us. These guys actually are playing with pick comps. All they're doing is giving the enemy support, just like Season 3 Faker.
Yeah.
Oh, but Ghost going deep, since Ghost are the team to finish up the tower, but they're not actually finishing up the tower. Albino Joe is going forward to the front, and now he steals this thing out of that zone. He has the flash defensively. A lot of AoE damage going out. The 1-for-1 so far, as Emporium is on the run with no help, and Ghost gets snared under the tower, split into 4. And he goes down to sword.
Wait.
And now Albino Joe with the ace in the hole does not pick up a kill, but somehow at the end of all of this, the tower goes down, and now Mad Cow looking for an extra kill does not get it. Oh, but the kill for the Peacemaker forces the last summoner of the fight.
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought I did. Wait, what? There was a teleport?
He was trying to teleport to a Zac Bloblet just to
keep him alive,
save
yeah.
his life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I thought I saw that too, but I thought my eyes were deceiving me. But yeah, if you guys didn't hear the ghost from beyond, which you probably didn't, there was a teleport out of Mad Cow during the fight with that Bloblet to keep him alive. But honestly, it looked like a really clean and nice dive. Gnar, two-man ult, Ghost starting that off with the jump in. It looked good, but then it was almost turned around by this under Jace. They were able to pick up 2 kills on the backside, so it was just a 2 for 2 at the end of the day. But still, top lane for him comes out because that tower was so low. They pick up the mid tower, and yeah, they extend their gold lead a little bit more, a little less than 3K now.
Alright, so I just went because I was curious. Mad Cow's teleport was from like 400 units past the Bloblet, and as soon as he started challenging, Bloblet got a double stun off, and it interrupted the TP. Oh. Mad Cow was going up to do a side anyway, but now Mad Cow is getting everything thrown on him, and he will finally pay for his sins against League of Legends.
That was good. This is perfect. This is, if you're Fizz on your Jason, that's your winning position right there. Oh no. Oof. Man, that Talia knockback. You really gotta respect that. And Talia's doing quite a bit of damage so far. Thor 2-0 and 3 has a Rylai's Morella Nomicon and a Void Staff. Sorcerer Shoes on top. I pleasantly surprised by how much damage Talia is doing.
You know what I am not pleasantly surprised by? How much damage Albino Joe is doing. He has the Mortal Reminder as his 3rd item, even though there is not a lot of armor on the enemy team. I guess he is officially on Sword and Mace duty? With the Grievous Wounds?
I think, I think it was for Sword and Mace, first off, but look at the armor items that are being built. Right? That means you already have Zonia's on Sword and Maze. Looks like Master Splinter's going for some double cloth armor item, and same with Veiled Destiny. I think one of them is probably going to throw right off of this, but yeah. So preemptively, it's actually a pretty good buy because there is going to be some armor coming in 5 minutes later from now. So the game slowed down again, and here's a question for you. I guess if you're top lane Emporium, how do you bring this home? What's their win condition?
I haven't liked their siege attempts. Honestly, they siege like fucking pussies. They have so many ways to create zone control underneath the tower, but every time they push, they over-respect the engage out of FOYJ, or have zero faith in their ability to predict maybe a long-range Evolite stun. I'm not sure. And if that's fine, because they don't have to siege, but they keep trying to siege, and then not doing anything with it. I mean, obviously they finally got the tower on the last push. So I think they should have just committed to Mad Cow, split pushing, 24/7. Let this guy's entire rookie season just never once scoop of this season, because that's how far ahead he was.
Yeah, and I totally agree, because if we think back to early in the game, does he still have the buff? Yeah, he still has Glimpse of the Void. He only has it... I don't know, does it say? No, it doesn't say at time, but it should be running out soon. And that's... When you have a huge lead on someone like Gnar, and you have Glimpse of the Void, you really just have to split push. 1-4 split push. You can threaten the dive, too, out of your other 4. You have Zac in Trundle to alleviate some of that, and... Yeah, right, I totally agree. The 5-man siege mid doesn't really make a lot of sense in 13 composition.
Yeah, a 1-3-1 or even a 1-4-0 would have made a lot of sense.
Or, I mean, what they're doing right now is good. They're
yes, well, now they have
sitting in the river waiting for the team to happen.
And there is the Weaver's Wall out of Thor, going to set up the start of this dragon. Now, Stormmate's going up like he's a stand to Albino Joe. He's actually letting up Albino Joe with the flash sensor, but no one is backing up Swordmace. He now is going to the middle of fight. Albino Joe is basically out. And here comes Boy. Mad Cow finds himself on this backline, but Swordmace gets the shutdown onto Albino Joe, but at what cost? Boy is pushing forward here, and they are mopping everyone up. Game O'Neal flashing aggressively on the Thor. He gets the last kill of this fight, and now he's just with Jack Wobbler. It is a 1-for-5 ace for Fizz on your Jace.
My potential is limitless.
Wow. Holy crap. Albino Joe, I don't think he had any idea it was Swain. Swain was below him. And he just stood exactly in the middle of that room and got jumped out, and then flashed out, and then he got snared again.
He didn't flash the never move. He flashed after.
He literally just didn't.
But he flashed after because look at his flash cooldown.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He flashed after because he was taking a bunch of damage, and then he got snared again at the end of the fight to finish off, or to die. But that was a good idea out of Flia, right? You wall off the 4 approaching enemies into the Dragon Pit. The call is just burn Dragon.
My Wang in Twitch chat's asking for a Jet team fight breakdown on that play. Do you think we can start tweeting at him?
Oh my god. Oh, dude, we got the Twitch bot saved, right?
Yeah.
You have a Twitter account. Let's
get to work, SBL. Holy shit! Yeah, that fight out of Albino Joe was so bad that like, what is Albino Joe building? Is there something that Vamp and Mini Shiv go into? SBL Twitch chat, help me out. I don't play AD carry anymore.
TSM chat, yeah. Wow, yeah, so off of that dragon fight, after the dragon fight, the 1-5, they evened up the gold, but then after that they just, went straight to Baron, as you guys saw, picked up the Baron, and now they have a less than a little over 3k gold, going into the 37-minute mark here of this game. This is looking a little promising for Fizz and your Jace, but I'm still concerned about their effectiveness in the fair 5v5. If Albino Joe doesn't get caught out like he is right now,
and on the other side, oh, Soda Mace with the clutch! Zodia's hourglass to save his own life. Now he's putting that beat down onto Mad Cow while his team takes his mid lane tower. And now some Zoni Ghost gets zoned under his own tower, completely chunked out. A big Baron wave coming in here for the 3-man squad. Every rotate. Oh, but Thor with the play! Cuts Everlight again!
Thor has really got Everlight's number in this game, man. And you think this is fueled by some essence boosted friendship, hate, some disfriendship? I don't know what it is, but man, Thor is basically just like has a camera hack, and he's just looking at Everlight, taking him out every fight, even in not fights.
And that was really huge there because Fizz on your Jace was about to put so much pressure onto the map. They were going to rotate to bot, get that second tower. They still had big creep waves in both mid and bot lane, and good options to finish up and maybe take one of those 2 inhibitor towers with the Baron waves. But that play buys a lot of time for Emporium that lets them essentially time out the remainder of this Baron and kind of clear the pressure off of the map. And also it was a hashtag LCS big plays, and those are always fun to see.
Yep, especially when the team you're playing against, they have the power play. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a Baron power play, but let's say they have Dragon, or they have some kind of advantage that you're trying to respect. Just picking off one member can slow the tempo down, and that's really the best thing you can do when you're behind like that. And it really does alleviate a lot of the pressure and keeps back in the game. Feels good too. Thor is playing really well this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Thor's probably been the best performing player in this entire game.
So it looks like a 5-man siege in the top lane on this tier 2, coming from Fizz on your J, Smash Splinter, everything. All the summoners are out on this base, and nearly all the summoners on top lane for you. Flash is still down for Mad Cow. Technically still down for Thor, but it'll be up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but that is a gigantic red wave in the bot lane. But oh, we might see a little bush bait.
Yeah. Wow, they're being. This is so weird, oh man.
Oh, but Sword and Mace gets seen, but Master Splinter and Failed Destiny are fully on the flank, but they do not want to commit to this. They had the flank if they wanted it, but it was too risky. Oh no! No!
He did it.
No!
He did it.
Oh no! No!
Sword and Mace have been teleported to the bot lane to save the tier 2 bot lane tower, save the tier 2 tower, and I think that might cost his own team a tier 2 tower.
Guys, let me give you one of my biggest tips as a top laner. In that situation, it is more valuable to just let the tower die and save your teleport than to teleport to save that tower.
Or, if you really wanted to save it, and I think you could have. I don't think the tower was going to go down quite yet.
No, I'm not
sure
sure
just
it was going to
recalled
happen.
and walked in.
And yeah, that's without even getting into like the Scott's not taking a lot of damage here. The slow pick and the Colin just barely does not pick him up. And Mad Cow wastes his own teleport trying to save Scott's life there, and suddenly everything I'm about to say about Sword Mace's bad TP is completely counteracted.
Yep. Mad Cow, he gets some damage down on the mid tier 2 tower, but it's not going to be enough. He's zoned off now.
Now Sword Mace gets pulled away from his tower. The ace in the hole gets Zonia's.
Thor took so much damage. He was trying to stay in range and kill him after Zonia's, but he has to flash out. Albino Joe uses this flash now as well. And Gabe O'Neill, he's on the front line. He's charging in.
He gets lit up and he goes down to Albino Joe. Now it exhausts on the Master Splinter, who is still sitting on his ultimate. He has the flash defensively, and now he is running away. Balls everywhere, and here comes Mad Cow on the flank. Is he deep here? He ults just failed Destiny? This hurts to watch. And now Coach finally comes in to back him up, but it is too late to do anything. And they're going to just base tank this tower. They have the Zarok set up courtesy of the Mad Cow. Pump that gold lead to 2.5K.
Man, I really appreciate the turnaround out of Fizz and New Jace. That was, I think, a pretty clutch Zonia's there to try to bait the enemy team into trying to kill Swordmates after he came back up. And they lost 2 flashes really early in that fight, Albino Joe and Thor flash. But on the re-engage, Gabe O'Neill, what a man he was. He led the charge a little too far there.
There was honestly one play I want to talk about that I think might have been the decider in that fight. And that was Evelite stepped onto a Caitlyn trap that was there well before that fight started. Just was not likely hard enough. After I wanted to call out Gabe O'Neill for an awesome lead through the trap as they were being laid. So Evelite was out of that fight when he came in.
Oh, but this bear it's getting shredded.
Down! Holy crap!
Oh, but they're going in. Talisman.
But they have to walk into the brawl ball. Now everyone is zoned away from the Mad Cow, and he gets stunned up against the wall. I think the boys can manage this game. But here comes Thor, 74. On to the Evelite, and there is a nice Mad Cow also from Master Splitter away from his team. Albino Joseph on the play. So does Joseph. They're going to get this front pick on a Phil Bessie, who wastes his exhaust onto Albino Joe. But there are gigantic waves in the Emporium base right now, and they have to send 2 back, maybe?
Oh, did that tower just get taken out?
No, that tower was already down.
Oh, okay.
From earlier? I'm gonna look. Take play by play.
And I don't think there's...
Tower went down to the creeps, yeah. Right at the tail end of that fight.
Huh. Interesting. So, like we were talking about earlier, there was a window where top lane Emporium had to back after that last fight, and the call was just to rush Bear, and they get it, they secure it, and it looked like they almost got outsaved. But once again, Thor with a good wall. Wall off Evelite, he failed the flash there, like we were also talking about earlier. He did not clear it all the way. And they pick up another kill on Failed Destiny on the backside, but the 2 kills mean nothing, really, when you still have 3 members of Baron buff, or three members on Fizz and Jace who Baron buffs.
I think we were so busy circle jerking the micro of that last team fight at the time that we didn't realize what good creep wave setup there was for that Baron play, and that was actually a pretty brilliant Baron call out of Fizz on your Jace. And it worked, because they don't really lose anything substantial, and they get to keep the Baron.
I mean, I guess you could also say in a roundabout way that they just lost Elder Drake priority here, Elder Dragon priority, because now they have Red Side. Oh my god, look at all the trap lines, they have tanks, they have the ward set up in the vision, so I don't think there's a lot Fizz and your Jace can do to try to get in easily and not be picked off by either Chundapillar or Zac from the Shadows initiating a fight here. It's gonna be really risky also to walk into a Mad Cow.
Yeah, Mad Cow is currently charging. Thor is up in the lane. He's looking for a nice wall he can set up here. I'm guessing he wants to go into the pit. Mashman is on a pretty aggressive positioning, and they're going to let Bill Destiny clear out some of these traps. This is the best case scenario for FOYJ. And, ooh, a nice stun from Evelite. Hits Albino Joe. Nice chunk out. He is sitting on some lifesteal now, so not as big of a deal. And, oh no. They're going to send Failed Destiny to clear side wave. I'm tilting.
and it's ROM, too, of like all the supports that you could choose to do that. Oh, they're going in.
Nah, man. We're going... Rumor has it these rookies got together before this game. I'm not live, oh my god.
You're not live. Are you live now? The fight's continuing.
Okay, so Swordface is not up against the wall. He's going to try to do something here, but he does not hit. And he will actually flash the wall. And now, the fight is over. No, Thor gets caught out. He's taking the dot slow to revitalize on Sword and Mace. Now Scott's not knocked up. And, he's just barely going to make it out of this fight.
Man, it's a lot of these fights, and it might be just the nature of these team comps, but it's just like they, one team starts it and they're like, yeah, we can get you, and then it's like, no, you can't. And it's just flipped around.
Going for the pick on the Scotch now, a big snare on Swordface. They force everything out of Albino Joe, and he's still getting shoved out. Joe wants to try to disrupt the fight, but he's not doing enough. Gable Neal is going full speed ahead, and then back into the Zac. Oh, Zac with the fatal flash. And that is just Mad Cow and Thor remaining.
Oh, Mad
Cow
just teleported in, but Sword Mace answered.
Now Mad Cow versus Sword Mace, but this is 4v1 in the mid lane. Mad Cow could probably take this inhibitor, but at what cost? Gable O'Neal has to play this smart and not get picked by Thor here, because his team can win. This is the Goonies to push all over again.
Yeah, it is, but man.
No, they're actually going to just make the play 1 inhib for 2?
Oh,
I think.
no, they're
Scott's
trying,
not
they're trying
to win. They're making, I like this play. I like this a lot. Talia doing what he can to buy time. That's one extra turret down. But no, the creeps were not in position, and neither were the tanks. So now this is actually a really bad play. Thor gets knocked up. So clutch out of Evelite on that engage. Failed Destiny should be the only casualty here. Eventually.
Oh, he has movement speed with shield. Nope. Wow. You know, if you're top lane of Forian, you'd really just have to say thank you, Mad Cow, because he really wasn't as big as he was in such a demanding lead against Sword and Mace. He couldn't have done that. He couldn't have teleported down and traded an inhibitor for an inhibitor.
It's also worth noting, though, that either that was a miscalculation, I think that was just miscommunication out of FOYJ. It looked like some of them wanted to end, and some of them wanted to do the 1 inhibitor for 2 trade. Yeah. And if they had all been on the same page, they definitely could have done 1 inhibitor for 2, which is a huge win, especially a minute and a half before Baron with that hot lane inhibitor off the map. And with no teleport available automatically, that would have been a wide open lane for FOYJ. But now they're going to get this Elder Dragon here. Yep, secured by Ghost.
Oh, Mad Cow, he's rolling in. Oh, man. If he would have got a 5-man contest, I would have lost it. All over my desk. Yeah, man. Yeah, I totally agree. There had to have been some kind of miscommunication. Like, oh yeah, and or like, no, just get to an hit.
We saw 2 people actually go and start attacking the inhib, but Gabe O'Neal was pushing towards the Nexus turrets. If the AD carry and the tank line are doing opposite things like that,
yeah,
it had to have been miscommunication, which is bad. And now Failed Destiny gets pulled for, he has to ult super defensively, but Albino Joe actually gets stumped out by Abolite on the end of that. That'll buy some time.
I'm gonna say that was totally calculated of Failed Destiny. He's like, yeah, I'll just go in, almost die. And we'll waste
buy
the
ult
wave.
for none of their ults, and now not have a way to disengage when they start taking this tower with their Zarot creeps. Alright, so things worth looking at here. That is a big blue wave in the bot lane again, going towards an exposed inhibitor. So the Boyle does not have all day, but they are. No, Albino's getting a lot of respect from FOYJ here. He's not putting too many shots onto that tower.
Madcow just went to Megadar a little bit after the wave came in, so I think that would have been their timing, right, to die. I guess I don't know if they're able to get this tower just off.
No, they have to respect that
attrition.
bot lane tower, and they can't set up a Madcow TP play, so it's not like they can keep the siege up. They do have Talia going back right now, and Talia did get the back off. Master Splitter wants to engage. Go to Water to engage there, but
yeah, there's a big trap line there, so
yeah, Emporia does back off. And Baron Nashor is live though, so it looks like we're gonna see Thor's gonna be a little late to this party. He obviously didn't wall in, but now Madcow barely dodges the engagement. Master Splitter does not care. Failed Destiny's going to peel for his carry, and now the fight begins. Thor has just channeled his ult to get in, I believe, but on the end of this fight, Joe takes the control, and Gabriel O'Neal gets the kill onto Madcow. A huge thing that now Scotchknot gets caught out. Swordmaze with the second kill of this fight.
huh. Nice. Wow, I mean, it looked like a kind of a good engage there. His and Jason, they were approaching the river, they were kind of split, but they were engaging on Master Splinter and Failed Destiny, the two tankiest members of that lineup, and they basically just took too long, and Gabe O'Neal came in at the end there and is able to take out Madcow while he was even in Mega form.
Yeah, and that's going to mostly buy out these inhibitor respawns. FOYJ did have to back there. They couldn't really try to play around Baron because their top Nexus turret was at like 20% health and would have gone down to another wave of supers if they hadn't had somebody based there.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Talia. Madcow's still down, but he does have teleport up now, so he can just take it to a mid lane or side lane. Try to push back the lane with the mini creeps here, but oh my god.
They're going for a Baron Force, and this is doing pretty fast. Albino Joe has to pop steal from the poke over the wall. Ghost is here to go for the blind 50-50. It goes to the, but it's secured by Nestor. Now Ghost is in no man's land. He has to ult the Thor puts down a ton of damage over the wall. Does not get Gabe O'Neal. Ghost 32 going to be the first caster here, but no, he just pops his passive. But there is no way. Oh, but now Failed Destiny flashes forward. He pushes the flash out of Albino Joe, and the chase is coming here. Out of this on your base, they're going to go up the mid lane. They have creeps. They have two exposed inhibitors, and now they have Baron Nashor.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
Yep, and they're down one member.
And they have a Nexus turret down as well.
Push here for Fizz on your base. They're looking for it. It all comes down to this defense.
Gabe O'Neal is still 5, so they're gonna just smartly take the second inhibitor here and ride in the gigantic Baron closeout. They still have 40 seconds on Ghost Zac. And that was, oh, Madcow maybe gets caught there. No. And here we go, the fight going in. Scotchknot gets picked for the umpteenth time this game. He goes down to Gabe O'Neal. Madcow trying to make the hero play, but he goes down to Abolite. This is just one Nexus turret, and the creeps are crashing. But Albino Joe goes down for it. That is 4 members of Joey's top lane Emporium dead. A Nexus finally closed on, and after 54 minutes, Fizz on your Jace starts their season 1-0.
Man, what a long game. Back and forth, too. Both these teams look pretty equally skilled, but Fizz and New Jace really making a statement there, and they're showing the league how to close out the game there at the end. Who do you think played last year on Fizz and New Jace?
The minion waves, probably. But, I'm going to pull in a man that I think would be very interesting to talk through right now because I want to know what was going through Sword and Mace's head.
Okay. Outstanding rookie performance, though, Gabe O'Neill?
I mean, with how bad of a situation he was in early that game, I thought he was never going to be able to do anything in that game. And Mad Cow stopped going off. Sword and Mace had some big fights. There was that huge flank onto Albino Joe. And there's the man himself, Sword and Mace, starting in the top lane.
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Well, yeah, so congrats on your win there. You're put into a very tough lane assignment this game against this very hyped up Mad Cow character. Gnar versus Swain matchup. Gnar really took off there in the laning phase. What was your thought process, and how did you stay cool during that lane phase?
Well, I kind of figured it was already a hard matchup to begin with, but I picked Swain because I felt Swain would be a better team fighter than Gnar in the long run, and because of the way they were playing passively, it ended up working out in our favor. I did a lot more than Gnar did in all the team fights, which I think contributed to us winning.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's one fight in particular I want to talk about, if you remember it. It was the fight at Dragon, I think in the mid-30s, maybe the early 40s, where you walked in on the flank from the bottom side of Dragon, and you just walked up to Albino Joe and casually snared him, and he didn't move.
Yeah.
And basically single-handedly won that fight. What was? Do you remember that fight? Like, do you know what was going through your head when that happens?
Well, we wanted to do the flank, and I really wanted to kill one of their carries, so I just went after Albino Joe as much as possible. I didn't care if I died as long as I killed him.
Nice. Yeah, it just seemed like Albino Joe and maybe the rest of his team just didn't even see you walk into the back. And yeah, you basically got off a fight-winning never move there, and that really brought your team back into the game. Because I think at that point,
I think that turned into Baron number 1.
Yeah, exactly. So top lane Emporium had a pretty good grasp of the game at that point, but yeah, that fight alone really swung it in your favor.
Yeah, really. I did a lot of stuff, but I got to give Master Splinter the credit. Once I started listening to him as well, it helped improve a lot of things because it was one time I should have teleported and I didn't. And I realized my mistake, and I was like, okay, man, I'm just going to listen to what you say from now on, and I'm going to go in whether it's good or bad. And for the most part, it just ended up good.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so to go off that, how is the team environment? You just talked about how Master Splinter shot calling led your team to victory. Is that pretty typical of this team? Is there a lot of communication, or is it really just Splinter commanding people?
There is communication going on, but we recognize Splinter is Diamond, the rest of us aren't. So I feel that we're going to listen to what he says because he's done a lot more objectively in the game than we have.
All right. One last question. I want to get a little bigger picture here. You have been with the SBL since its very first season. You were a starter in that season, and then you've kind of hopped around on a lot of benches since then. I believe this is your first time that you've been a starter since the very first split of the SBL. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
How does it feel to finally be a starter again, man?
Feels good, to be honest. I don't mind being a bench. Obviously, though, I want to be in these games. As long as I keep proving myself, I think I'll keep being in them and show everyone the reason to pick me next season.
Well, I think you had a really excellent first game, especially if I didn't get much of a chance to say it during the cast. You were down a lot early, and I thought Mad Cow was going to just single-handedly win that game, and you kind of pulled it together and stopped letting them do that, and you had that huge team fight that really got your team back into it, so congrats, man.
Thanks, man. Feels good.
I think that's going to do it for our interview here, guys. So we're going to take a quick 2-minute break here before we start Game 3. I need like 2 new liters of water after that game.
It's a lot.
Don't touch that browser, guys. We'll be right back.